Hello and welcome to Good News York. I'm flying solo today. Matt is out finding Phase Drugs memorabilia. He's combing all of New York State. So I'm here alone. I have a very special guest today, special being the key word. Give it up for Kate Williams. And when I say give it up, it's just me clapping because it's only me here and I apologize.
Thank you.
Kate, I'm so glad you came in. Matt's wife actually recommended that we have you on, and I'm glad she did because you are doing some amazing stuff. First of all, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Okay.
And we'd
All
love
right.
to hear about that.
So I had a daughter young. I had a daughter at 21 who just graduated college. So very excited for her.
Uh-huh.
And then, just kind of bounced around. Job-wise, nothing, didn't really have a passion. And then I just kind of fell into, I saw a job offer for a bathing, grooming shop needed a bather in about 2014. And I tried it out. And from there, fell in love with grooming. I apprenticed under one of the owners, and that started my grooming career. And then I started volunteering at the CNY SPCA as a groomer just to, work on my skills and stuff like that, and fell in love with rescue and decided to take a year off grooming and focus on rescue, which ended up being 3 years. And I met some really wonderful people through there. And we all saw the problems in rescue. There's many overpopulation. And so we just had this wonderful idea about how if we could do it on a smaller scale and do it right and have total control over, training and enrichment and getting these dogs prepared for their home. So within a year, actually, we just opened our shop. It's on 922 Old Liverpool Road. So
Rescue
the
Love
Rescue Love is
is
the
the name?
rescue. And my grooming shop is called Girl's Best Friend. So I
that.
groom there full time, Wednesday through Sunday in the front. And then in the back, we just got accepted to have 5 kennels built. So we can have 5 animals living there, dogs. And right now we have in foster, my foster puppy just got adopted at a music bingo 2 nights ago.
What a place to get.
It just happened. It was
get
out of
adopted.
the blue. We weren't expecting it. And we just had a mama had 9 puppies, so we're supporting her, trying to figure that out. And then one of my very good friends, Sarah, is a trainer, and so she has a husky that another shelter was going to put down for very mild behavior issues that cause stress. You get very stressed in the shelter.
Yeah.
So she took her in, and she's an amazing dog. She's a husky, so she's working with her. So right now we're foster based as we're getting our kennels built, but when they're built, we'll have 5 dogs living there permanently.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I know many people who are obviously animal lovers, and they have many dogs, cats, and some of my friends strictly prefer to go the rescue route because there's such a reward in. I mean, we love animals no matter where they come from, but there's such a reward in rescuing a dog and giving it a better life.
And they definitely appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I love the whole reason I love dogs is all the different kinds. So I'm not against breeding, but ethical breeding.
Sure.
A breed gets popular, and then all of a sudden everyone starts breeding them and destroys the breed, and then they have health problems and mental problems. So you want to either, go the rescue route or really go do your research and find an ethical breeder if you're looking for a specific breed of dog. I say rescue is the way to go.
I agree, I think.
And we have it's not all pit bulls, we've got all different breeds of dogs. We get doodles, we get German shepherds, we get poodle mixes.
Yeah, I feel like doodle. I feel like every time a friend of mine gets a dog now, it's a something doodle.
Yeah.
He's like, it's a chicken doodle. It's a Rottweiler doodle. I'm like, where are these doodles? Is the doodle like the hot
Which is driving groomers crazy because, well, the poodle is an amazing dog. So everybody's just mixing everything with a poodle. It seems to be. That's just the phase people are in these days.
So let's go back because you were talking about how you kind of stumbled upon dog grooming. And I personally feel like that is a talent and an art. You know,
Oh,
the
yeah.
same way you would cut hair.
Yeah.
How do you know you have that skill? Do you have do most groomers have a background in hair cutting? I mean, I'm really blind to this.
So I just took the job as a bather. I trained under two ladies who had been grooming for 30 years. One of them showed dogs. They really were very hardworking people. And before I could even pick up the scissors, you have to learn how to properly bathe and brush out a dog. It's a lot of work. It's
Yeah.
not for everybody. Really, it's not playing with puppies all day. You
Yeah.
have to have a passion for it. I think some people are more naturally inclined to do it. I wasn't. I mean, I spent 2 years every day going home crying, feeling like I just wasn't getting it, but I wanted it so bad. So I'd go back every day, and then a little bit would click here, and a little bit would click here. And then that's how I picked it up. So it's been about 10 years now. And I just love it. I love that I do free grooming for the shelters. So some of these cruelty cases that come in are in excruciating pain. And in 1 hour, they are like bopping around like the happiest. I mean, instant gratification.
Yeah.
You can do so much in so little. You know, training is a long process. Grooming, it's like, bam. And that solves such a huge problem right away. So I love that part.
So when I think of grooming, because again, I'm not from that world, I immediately think of scissors, shampoo. Is it more than just cutting the hair? What is involved in the process of grooming?
Yeah, so first of all, you want to get your dog started at an early age so they're comfortable with all of the blow dryer and just the whole process, nail trimming and stuff like that. So you want to get your dog in as soon as possible. You want to find somebody that you trust because it can be frustrating, and you see these videos online of people mistreating their dog, you know. But yeah, usually, you know, like a short-haired dog would come in, and they even short-haired dogs need baths. They can be shedding, they could have itchy skin. We do medicated baths. Their ears need to be clean, their nails need to be cut.
So it's a case by case basis.
Yeah.
They come in, you don't predetermine like, you know, we're gonna give it this cut. They come in and you go, oh, we should do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if we can give them what they want, you know, and like a doodle, say you see these big fuzzy doodles, well, they need to come every 3 to 4 weeks, and you need to keep them dry and brush them every day.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of work. So most people don't choose that route. So if a dog comes to me in a matted state, I usually will say, okay, I'm not going to punish the dog. We're going to shave the dog down today. And if you get on a schedule with me every 4 to 6 weeks, then we can do whatever you want, you know. But there's a lot of upkeep with certain breeds. So you should really look into that when you're getting a dog, because a doodle is an expensive. There's different levels of maintenance for grooming, and one of the most expensive would be any sort of poodle mix, because they really need to be groomed at the very least every 8 weeks.
Yeah. And so I've been dying to ask this question. I have to admit, since yesterday when I knew I was going to be interviewing you, I was like, I've got to ask this question. So you go into a hairdresser, right? And you either know, you say, hey, I would like this, right? And obviously dogs, they can't speak to you. The owners can.
Well, they can with the body language.
Oh, we'll talk about that too. Is it like with tattooing, where it's like, I don't give a dog the same cut I gave another dog. I want to do it original each time. Or do you have certain styles? How do you choose how you're going to do the cut? Because I've seen some fancy stuff. Yeah. You see some of those poodles with the big
and those
puffy...
are the high maintenance. Like,
yeah.
But your typical, those are like show dogs, like your pet owned. Usually, you know, I ask what the owner wants. Yeah. You know, you want to give them as close to what they want. And then there's basic like breed cuts, like a Westie has a cut, or I can't think of a different breed right now, but every breed has a cut. And then there's like the teddy bear cut that everybody likes. But yeah,
there's no dog coming in and being like, give me the Rachel cut, right? Yeah. It's like you're just doing... I find that fascinating that there are cuts for certain breeds, and that makes sense. And I am picturing, you know, the dog show styles, maybe. Yeah. Do you also cut for those kind of events as well?
No, I'm not a show dog groomer.
Oh, that's a whole separate thing.
Yeah, that would be a whole different thing, but maybe down the road.
Maybe down the road. Now, you talked about the grooming aspect, and now you're involved with Rescue Love, a brand new shelter. And I know you talked about some of the problems, right? There's a lot of problems. I'd like you if you could, just go into that. What are some of the problems that maybe we don't, for us, the regular person, we know that there's dogs that are either mistreated, they don't have homes, they go to the shelter, they're taken care of, they find a new home. But you're on the front line seeing what are the biggest issues that shelters are facing?
Well, another one thing to say about the Rescue Love is most of the proceeds right now from my grooming go right into the rescue. So you're not only getting your dog groom, you're supporting our rescue at the same time.
It's amazing.
So that's a little different than like a regular grooming shop.
Sure.
So we're all tied together. The trainers are working together with the shelter, with me. So overpopulation. I think that people have this idea that I can't spend enough time with my dog. But even if you worked 12 hours a day and you can give your dog a solid hour outside, that is better than I don't think people realize what life is like in a shelter, especially an overcrowded shelter. Minimal, like the staff pay is extremely low. People are either there, they come and go, or they're there for the right reasons, but it's a lot of work. It's sad. It's they're underpaid, understaffed, and it's some dogs. The shelter that I worked at, and I'm not saying they're the only shelter, but some dogs would sit, for a week in their kennel and not get out and get a walk. And so in our shelter, we're open to all different methods of training, and we want what's best for the dog. And we want to go home at the end of the day knowing that dog got everything it possibly could have needed that day. We're right near the parkway. If you're at a shelter with 110 dogs that are staring at you, begging you to take them out, even if you give 110%, you leave there crying or feeling like you barely made a dent. And there are such dedicated people, there really are, but there just aren't enough. And
would you say
the board, the people, it's not so much the staff, sometimes it's people running the places that aren't running them correctly. They've been, so
yeah. I would you say a lack of funding is a big problem?
Yeah.
Well, that's where we come in, because we want to help you get that funding.
Definitely.
So I know, again, for most of us, we know that the shelters take care of these dogs, but what I'm hearing and what I love is that it's not just a kennel and food and water, and you're grooming them. And now I hear about training. So can you talk a little bit about the process so a dog comes to the shelter? What do they get? What is like the everyday operation of a shelter?
So like at our new shelter?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
of course, rescue.
So a dog will come in, and every morning they're gonna get their breakfast. They're gonna get walked at least 3 times a day. You're gonna have more than one person to one dog. Probably more like two people to one dog. They're gonna get enrichment. They're gonna get training. So when they go into the home, when you adopt a dog from a shelter, you don't know like what you're getting. They're not crate trained.
Right.
Some of them have been so comfortable living in the shelter. Once they get into a house, their whole personality changes, and you have all these sorts of problems. So we have so many wonderful people to help, and we're going to make sure that dog goes home and we know everything about the dog. The dog is properly trained. He's crate trained. Any behavior issues we've worked out. We're really going to get some really amazing stellar dogs. We're going to put the work in, to make sure that they go.
I absolutely love that. I love that it's outside the box, because I don't know, and correct me if I'm wrong. Do you feel like that's kind of a new innovative process? Because I feel like growing up, we always got dogs from shelters, and it was just a free for all. We would see this dog we loved, we'd take it home, but it would go to the bathroom in the house, or it would tear up the carpet, and we had to train it. Is training being implemented into the shelter process? Is that something new, or is that just a shelter by shelter type?
That's something I think a lot of shelters would like to do if they had the
resources.
Staff or the resources. That's where we come in. Like we're going to keep ourselves, we're not going to overwhelm ourselves. So we're going to be able to potty train the dog, to crate train the dog, and do everything. And I know that people are doing their best, but yeah, you don't know when you bring a dog home, like
No,
how
and
it's going to be.
and I think that's just such a wonderful aspect of Rescue Love,
Yeah.
is that training aspect,
And we
because
also get to do home visits. So we're going to come into the
Nice.
home, even for fosters. We want to have a team of fosters that we can reuse.
Yes.
So we want them to come to the shelter. We want to do an orientation with our fosters. Then we want to visit the home. We want them to raise the dog the way we want them, so they pick up good habits. So when they go into the home, you have like a ready-made wonderful dog that, yes, you still have to carry on what we're showing you, but they're already all prepped and everything. And
Well, that's
for an
amazing.
adoptable dog, yeah, definitely home checks,
That's great.
applications.
It's
and
almost
you
the
can't
same
do that.
process you would for a human being.
Yeah.
No, I love, because we always talk about how our animals are just like our family. They're just like humans. And you guys really live by that,
Yeah.
even in the process
Yes.
of finding them a new home. I want to talk about Jordan's Way. This is awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys are heading to Texas in a few days to join Jordan's Way.
Yes.
I'd love to hear all about that.
So Rescue Love was one of only 2 rescues chosen from New York State to attend the first ever national fundraiser, the Jordan's Way Bowl, hosted by Jordan's Way in Wichita Falls, Kansas. The goal of this event is to raise over $10 million, which will be shared among 85 shelters across the country. Tune in live Saturday, November 15th from 6 to 9 p.m. Central Time on our Rescue Love Facebook page to cheer us on and be part of this historic event.
So that's wonderful. How did you find Jordan's Way, or how did Jordan's Way find you?
They've just been coming up to Central New York for years. They do Humane and they do all the local shelters, and they come in and they do, like, he does, I guess he's raised over like $14 million. He travels around the country and he does stuff like, raise this much money and we'll hose you down in a kennel, a staff member in a kennel, or we'll lock up someone in a kennel for an hour, or we'll shave your head, or we'll
dunk tank,
pie you in the face or
Yeah, yeah.
something. And
Love that.
he's pretty successful, yeah. So we're excited because it's expensive to
Sure.
start a shelter, and we're
So you would say Jordan's Way is kind of an overarching organization that kind of provides funds for shelters for that
those
reason?
smaller shelters that
That's
are
wonderful.
unfunded, yeah.
And I'm sad that I haven't heard of that yet, because that is fantastic.
Yeah.
A couple more questions before I let you go. I got to know this. So growing up, we're in PC culture now. So I would imagine this bleeds into the dog world. Is mutt a bad term? Do we not use the term mutt these days? Because that's what we used to say freely. We'd say,
I don't think
"Oh,
so.
what breed is your dog?" And we'd say, "Oh, we don't know. He's a mutt."
No.
But now I feel
Mutts
like
are my
that was kind of
favorite.
mean. It's okay to say?
I would say, yeah, mixed breed.
Mixed breed.
I think a mutt's a great dog.
Okay.
They're
I
the
do
healthiest.
too.
They're the healthiest, honestly.
I don't think we ever had, we had dogs growing up, 3, 4 dogs my whole life. I don't think we ever had a one that was a specific breed. I think we always had mutt, and they were the best.
Yeah, they're a mixture of all different things, and they seem to be the healthiest. I don't think I've ever had a purebred dog, no.
Yeah. This is the real question here. How do you emotionally, and I'm being serious, because I get attached very easily, especially to dogs that are in need, right? Especially rescue animals. Do you find that you do have to kind of mentally teach yourself, like, I can only let them in so far emotionally? How do you manage that? Because it's tough to see them go, I'm sure.
It is. When I worked at the SPCA, which is a much higher volume, I put my feelings aside. I just wanted to be a safe place, a safe space for that dog, where they felt calm and trusted, and they know they could trust me. Seeing them go into a home is never sad for me, and it always makes me happy.
That's a happy thing.
Yeah, it is a happy thing. And I have my own dogs. I love any dog I come across, and I love them with all my heart.
Yeah.
But the goal is to find them a new home, because if you don't, if you keep that dog, then you're not going to be able to help the next dog,
That's a really healthy way to look at it.
Yeah. So no, I am there for the dog. My feelings aside. And
Kate Williams, Rescue Love. This is the important part of the interview.
Yes.
Tell us how we and the viewers and listeners can help Rescue Love get the resources they need to keep doing the amazing things that you do.
Okay, yeah. I should have asked Jenna this before.
That's okay.
Yeah, I think you just go on to Rescue Love's Facebook page. Yeah.
Okay. And you said Rescue Love /New York, or Rescue Love /New York.org.
Rescue Love, capital R, capital L. I'm sorry.
That's
I
okay.
was wrong. There's no slash. It was the way
It's
it
all
was.
right.
It's Rescue Love with a capital R and a capital L,
Uh-huh.
ny.org.
There it is. RescueLoveNY.org.
And I'm sure there's a donate button on there or something.
And
Yeah.
what is it that you guys are looking for primarily?
So we're looking for funding for our signage, for our kennels, and then physical things like blankets and towels, crates, toys, and stuff like that. But really, we're looking for funding just like to build the kennels, vet care. Okay, vet care is huge. Right now, we're looking for a vet that is willing to work with us at a discounted rate.
Absolutely.
Because we're going to need a vet.
A vet is key in
Yes,
these.
so that's our biggest thing.
Especially coming from some of the situations that these dogs come from.
Yes.
And that I would think that, obviously funding goes without saying, but I would think vet care would be the number one.
Yes.
So if you are listening, if you are watching, please go to rescueloveny.org. Whether you want to be part of the staff, donate funds, and any veterinarians out there that can help Rescue Love with this amazing mission, please do.
Please.
Kate Williams, of Rescue Love, thank you for coming in. Thank you for all you do for these animals. Anything else you want to say before we go?
No, thanks for having me on.
All right.
We're super excited.
We love you.
It's a wonderful group of people, the best people I've ever met, and we're super excited.
RescueLoveNY.org. Also, remember November 15th, 6 to 9 Central Time on the Rescue Love Facebook. That is the Jordan's Way event. So, Kate Williams, thank you for your time. We will be right back. Matt's going to be in here with our buddy Zach from Ads on the Go, which is our sponsor for Good News York. GetAdsOnTheGo.com. Zach coming in we're going to get an update on his life and everything that's going on. That's next, right here on Good News York.
Hey, folks. Welcome back to the show. I'm Matt Major, back from whatever adventure Mike invented from me in the previous segment. We're having a good time because I am joined by our sponsor, Zach, the man from Ads on the Go. GetAdsOnTheGo.com. He's with us in the studio. He took a break from promoting everything in Central New York in his amazing truck, and he's going to come in and talk to us a little bit. And I'm just glad to have you, man. It's nice that you are so busy that we have a hard time even getting you in here, but I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And first and foremost, I appreciate all your support, man. You've been with us now for a number of months. One of our biggest advocates and fans, and I appreciate it. I know you're also a listener to the show, which I appreciate as much, if not more. And I love to see it. And we're not going to go into too much detail here on the air, but a little behind the scenes. We're going to be working with Zach to promote some of the new things that we're doing, and you're going to see even more of us on his trucks and maybe at some events. So I'm pretty excited about that. But before we talk about our stuff, let's step back for a minute. For the folks who are just joining the program, Zach, tell us, what is Ads on the Go?
So we use our big 3-screen digital mobile billboard truck to cut through the distracted world of advertising right now. The average consumer is exposed to 10,000 ads a day. And as we continue to get more distracted and ad blind, we need these really bold and unique ways to reach the consumer, and especially affordable ways along with that. So we use our truck in multiple different ways, whether it's subscription advertising to consistent high traffic areas, or whether it's awesome local events like Christmas parades, like advertising at the state fair, the nationals. We just try to create as many affordable and unskippable advertising opportunities to local businesses all around the area.
That's the thing. When you're stuck in traffic and that truck is in front of you, you can't look away. I love how you say that, the unskippable ad.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, we're in such a young industry and we're such a young company. We don't have all these huge statistics to say, hey, you're going to get this many impressions, you're going to get this, you're going to get that. But at the end of the day, we can guarantee you're going to be seen
Yeah.
in one of the most memorable ways possible. Again, 10,000 ads a day, as you see all those billboards, as you see all the ads on Facebook, you're going to probably remember most the one that was driving by you on a big old TV with wheels.
Yeah. I love how you describe that, a big old TV with wheels.
Absolutely.
Because that is what it is. That's the thing that the nerd in me has always found so interesting about your business is you literally just have TVs. You've got screens on a truck that you can put anything on. It's not just a billboard, right? You could play movies. You could play a video game on this thing.
Anything that can be plugged into an HDMI. So we've done, Super Smash Bros. We've done Mario Kart, obviously. That's easily my favorite on there. I took it to my 10-year-old little brother's birthday party, and out of all the games, he suggested Mortal Kombat. So that was a fun one to have on there.
That sounds awesome.
We've live streamed Bills games, March Madness. I mean, there's a lot of, really, it's absolutely limitless to what we can do with it. And there's 3 speakers on each side of the truck, too. So you can utilize those in any way possible. We've done some live concerts before, too, during COVID. That was a nice little pivot that we did during that season.
That's so incredible. I love the idea. Since we first met, I've always had this idea of let's drive the truck into the middle of a field and have a movie, right?
Yes.
Literally under the stars,
Absolutely.
but no electricity, no anything. It's just such a cool thing to me. Zach, we've talked about this before, but tell folks again a little bit about how you got into this. And I think what's really impressive, if folks haven't already figured it out, this guy, I think he's just turned old enough to drink, a month ago or something? He's an incredible young entrepreneur. Tell us how you got here.
Yeah, so when I was, I think I just turned 19, I was in Jefferson Community College up in Watertown. And I had kind of really just gone on a whim. And I was in my 2nd semester here. And what had happened was we had these business intro classes where local entrepreneurs would come in and speak. And these 2 guys came in and spoke, and they represented Running Boards Marketing. It was the co-founders of it, and they were a digital mobile billboard company, the first one I've ever seen in my entire life. Especially 2 years ago, it was even less prominent of a thing as it is today. And, 3 years ago at this point. And I was just absolutely enamored by the idea. And from there, I basically borrowed a suit. I went to multiple networking events, and I just kind of pestered these guys until they had a job opportunity available. And as soon as they did, I got hired. I had never done sales before. I was just working at a diner serving. I did an internship that went good, and from day one, I had a fire lit under me to sell as much as I possibly could. I sold 72 ads in 1 month, which was more than all the franchises did. It started as a franchise concept. They were actually in the Entrepreneur Magazine Franchise 500. So I was even more just completely enamored by the whole concept of it. And they grew the franchising side a little too fast, and that kind of crumbled the company. There wasn't enough capital behind it to really sustain such a big hit. They had to buy back 10 of them almost right away. COVID entrepreneurs, people who got a lot of money and were like, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur, but they didn't actually have the truck out there. We have one of the most incredible cold call methods, and it needs to be used by anybody who has that truck. To make a mock-up ad, to get in front of that business, for that to be your first impression of the salesperson or the owner or whoever is trying to sell you, it just makes for the most incredible, unique sales approach.
You have such a unique way to demonstrate the product at the first sales meeting, like you said. That's we've seen it. The first time you were with us, you pull up and there's our logo on the truck, and everybody, come on! I literally yelled. I remember to the office, come on, everybody, come out and see this. You can't deny it, especially as a business. There's nothing that makes a business owner more excited than seeing their logo in bright lights, right? What a great sales technique.
It's
man.
Truly worth all the time that goes into making all those cold call graphics, because it's one of those things where you can just feel really good about what you do on a daily basis, right? Sometimes, I get it too. Being pestered or being cold called by a salesperson isn't always the most, exciting thing. You can have multiple outlooks on it, but at the end of the day, at one time or another, it's gonna frustrate you or it's gonna upset you.
Right.
But there's very few times where people are upset that I'm giving them free advertising just to talk to them for a minute.
Yeah.
I love just the idea of being able to spread that joy and to put smiles on people's face in that way. It's the absolute best, you know, and I go at it like I'm just trying to make their day.
Yeah.
And it always tends to work out.
That's awesome, man. I just love your approach to everything. It's really cool. One thing that I've always been very impressed with is you personally have the skills to build these things, right? You're not even just, I'm a great entrepreneur. You talk about how you're enamored with the business and you figure out how to sell it, which is awesome. You also figured out how to literally do in the most, granular level, how to literally build these giant screens. How long did it take you to figure out that stuff?
Well, the lucky thing is I come from the beautiful generation that has the internet, and we can ask the internet everything.
Sure.
So between 3 years of just taking stuff apart and really just reverse engineering how it works in research on the internet, it took a little while to really click because there's a lot of electrical components that go with it too,
Sure.
and I'm absolutely no electrician. But I know that when I get shocked, I got to do something different. So, but it probably took about a year till I really understood it. And then, 2 years to really, really be able to retrofit a screen to anything at this point.
Gotcha.
I believe that technology is going to be a major part of our business. I think that there's very few people who understand how to build these screens in this area. And of the people who do understand, because they have such a big market share, they're able to charge a huge profit margin. So I'm able to do very similar, the same thing for a lot better of a value.
Because is that something that you also offer as a service? Can you go build a video screen for somebody or a truck for somebody if they want it?
We absolutely can. It's nothing that I've been, really outlaying, trying to market.
Focus.
Right now I've been repairing some because that takes a lot less time than to actually be able to build some. I need to build a little bit more of a team behind me before I can start putting my focus over there. But if you go to, anywhere in Asia, they have these screens on every building. We're 35 years behind the technology of those countries because that's all the manufacturing's in China.
Yeah.
They don't have any American manufacturers for these panels and for these products. So I really am I'm very excited to hopefully be at the forefront of that technology because every few years it gets better and it gets better.
Sure.
The most recent years, they were able to build the flexible panels. That's why they built the Vegas Sphere.
Yeah.
That's what they built it from, was those flexible P3, I believe, panels.
Okay.
And I think it's going to keep going. It's going to keep going. We're going to eventually, we've already started seeing these transparent film LED screens. So you could put them on like the outside of a hospital and they're not seeing the advertising inside. They're just seeing outside. But outside, you can put whatever you want on that screen.
That's incredible.
So it's still a little bit behind where I think when it gets to that point, it's going to absolutely explode. But it's, technology's just got a way of reinventing itself every few years.
Yeah,
so.
that's incredible. What's neat to me is you mentioned panels, and for people that don't know, they might see these things and look like that's a giant, that's a 12-foot TV, right?
Yeah.
In reality, it's not. It's the combination of tiles, and like you can see on our screen where we've got 6 basically regular big screen TVs here, but you use much smaller pieces, right?
Yeah,
they're
about 192 millimeters, so about 6 or 7.5 inches. The screens are made up of a whole bunch of them. I think on the truck, we're about 220 of them just on the truck alone on all of its 3 screens. So, and what that does is it also makes the maintenance and it makes everything about it so much easier because if something goes wrong, it's likely going wrong with one square and not the whole screen or a big section of the screen.
Yeah.
So we try to, pick the smaller panels. There's a few that are a little bit bigger, but the smaller panels, there's kind of less that can go wrong. The power's divided a lot more, so it's distributed a lot more, so it's just a lot easier to maintain.
That's incredible. That's incredible, man. So many cool things that you have going on. Let's talk about coming up. We're coming to the holiday season, right?
Yes.
And that means parades and all kinds of good things. And that's also one of your kind of main staples, right?
Yeah, we will be at just about every local parade you can find from here to, you know, to Clayton and Alex Bay area up north.
Wow.
You know, that's a big part of our business. You know, anytime, any parade really, we're guaranteed to be the most noticeable float.
Sure.
And again, with the digital screens, it allows us to represent either one business or allows us to represent multiple businesses, give them a really affordable opportunity to put a holidays message, to, you know, run a sale or whatever it is, and they don't got to go out in the cold and sit
Yeah.
there with a wagon and a truck with a banner on it, right? We can be their float for them. We got the 3 speakers. We play music. You know, a lot of the time our candy throwers are dressed as Buddy the Elf.
Yeah.
We have a whole team of candy throwers.
Nice.
So I'm looking to do a little revamping to our candy thrower costumes this year. So that's always a very fun side of it. We try to make it the most unique experience possible.
Mm-hmm.
Our spirit really comes out during those events, and
That's awesome.
it's just incredibly fun to be a part of.
I love that whole idea that you can be the float for businesses, because, you know, I'm a business owner myself. Sure, we love to participate in those things and they're fun, but I feel like the days of people having the time and the space and the resources to build, and then if you build a nice one, you got to keep it somewhere, right?
Yes.
Year after year, these giant floats that we used to see in parades. The idea that you could have something this awesome and attractive, you know, and be in these parades and get that local representation, I think it's awesome. And like you said, it's the most attention grabbing thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially when you get really, you know, we try to push people towards more creative graphic design, because there's just some really fun ways that our truck can be utilized, whether it's the messaging or whether it's the images, and just make it incredible. I love to do the, you know, the animated ads with this type of thing, whether it's the, you know, reindeer flying around the logo. I mean, there's just really fun stuff that we can do with it.
Well, that's the thing. The other difference between a traditional sort of static billboard, right, is that's just a solid picture.
Yeah.
Like you said, you could put a little element that makes it extra eye-catching, and
yeah, especially at night. I mean, that thing lit up at night, it is, whew. I mean, you can't look away from that.
Zach, a couple more things, and we'll let you get back to it. But you mentioned a couple times now that what you offer some real affordable ways. Can you talk about that? Because quite frankly, I think what you have is incredible in terms of your offering and affordability to businesses, and I'd love to just mention that a little bit.
Yeah, so I've always been really focused on creating these affordable marketing opportunities for small businesses, because I really believe, and I know personally how difficult it can be, especially throughout the whole season, to really find that budget for marketing. But it's such an absolutely crucial and essential thing. You know, we see businesses fall all the time because of improper marketing or lack of marketing. You know, people can't know what you don't tell them, right? So that's always been a big passion of mine, is just creating these opportunities. That's what started with our subscription route, where I said we're going to drive this area, you know, Monday through Friday, this time to this time, and we're going to start as low as $300 for a whole month of advertising. And obviously we have packages to amplify that, to show up a lot more. But with these events too, it gives us a really nice opportunity to be able to share the cost with a few local businesses as opposed to getting one big one. So with the parades, most of them, we have spots that start at $199.
Wow.
I mean, I can't think of many other ways to spend $199 to get in front of that many people.
Right.
It is absolutely just about the best value you can get.
Yeah. I love that.
Because again, it's guaranteed impressions. A lot of people spend money on marketing not even knowing if people are going to see it. It might get ignored. It might be buried. But at the end of the day, $199 to get thousands of people to see your business in that positive light, you just really can't. You can't compare when it comes to other values.
Well, and I think it's a big deal to have a billboard, right? Even for everyday consumers. If they see, whether it's driving down the road, it's seeing on your truck, something like that. It's in New York City, and it's, you know, one of the video screens that are on the buildings and things like that. That is a huge deal for everybody, because that just has this impression that it's super expensive. Yes. And that business has reached that level, right? They're at that capacity to where they can be in the sky or on the side of something. So the fact that you can provide that value to folks for, not thousands of dollars, which I don't think a lot of people really understand how expensive traditional billboards are.
It is insane, and not. I believe every marketing strategy should have multiple methods, right? You can't just do one thing and be like,
Sure.
oh, that's going to work. So, but when you're talking about billboards and how many of them there are,
Right.
they become blended into the landscape. They're also all the way up there, and there's some that aren't even lit up at night, which
Yeah.
absolutely amazes me. I'm like, in a place that gets
Right.
dark at 4 p.m., it's like, you'd think you'd spring for the LED lights on there, but
it's wild the way.
but we're
folks do
eye
stuff.
level to you, right in front of you, absolutely unmissable, unskippable.
Are there, and I know we talked about this before, but I just love folks to hear about it. Are there particular routes, particular roads where people in our area anyway might see you most often?
Yeah, and it's definitely Route 11 and 31 in Cicero. It continues to be one of the busiest intersections of the greater Syracuse area right now. Lots of people are absolutely disgusted by it because there's traffic any way you go around it. I mean, it is, you go on 81 South, there's traffic. You go down 11, there's traffic half the time. You go on 31, they just finished that roundabout. But not only because of the traffic patterns is it heavy, but it's also a really popular intersection and a really good access point to multiple places in Syracuse. The rush hour commute mainly is what we stick to because it's just an incredible amount of cars and it's a lot of standstill traffic. So we try to hit those consistent routes because they consistently have the volume to get there.
You get the most eyes.
Yeah.
The worst part of traffic that everyone in Syracuse complains about is your sweet spot, right?
Yes.
I love that. I love that. Are there any rules? I was thinking about this the other day. Are there any rules in terms of where you can or can't run your signs? And like one thing I was thinking of, like if you go to an event in Utica, can you run things all the way down the thruway and things like that?
Yeah. So I have yet to find through research or through somebody of authority telling me anything that limits us except for the fact that past 10 p.m. we shouldn't have the truck going.
I see.
In certain villages or certain towns, the having video and audio while the truck is driving actively is more frowned upon ish.
Yeah.
It's not something we necessarily want to do. That's something we'd like to park and have it be, a more effective campaign that way. But I have ran into very little, and knock on wood here, I've ran into very little occasions where somebody's like, you can't do that, you can't do that.
Sure.
Because it's such a new industry, especially in this area.
Right.
In those big cities like Las Vegas, New York City that I've had them for a few years, they have all these laws and regulations, but we don't have much in our specific area. But again, I try to always just provide these incredible opportunities and hope it all pans out. Right?
Yeah, no, I hear you. And the reality is it seems unique to us, but the more and more you think of it, it is no different than anything else. It's no different than the store on the side of the road that has the fake red police light flashing everywhere all night long.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, really, if you look at because of how high the truck sets up, if you're really looking at what everybody's doing while they're driving anyway, they're on their phones. Everybody's on their phones. It's absolutely insane to see. Yeah. Just how many people are truly just sitting there on their phones in traffic, and then we drive by them and keep their eyes right on the road. You know, so it's definitely not any more distracting than that.
There you go. I feel like the DOT should contract with you just to play some.
Yeah,
don't worry, guys. It'll be over soon, or some kind of like calming messages. That's where they're missing.
They got to they got to put the humor in there.
Right. That's awesome, man. Zach from Ads on the Go. GetAdsOnTheGo.com is the website. Zach, is that the best place if folks want to advertise their business? They want to have an event, something like that. Is the website the best place to go? Or is there other spots?
The website's a great place to go. You can also give me a call or text 315-816-0633 any time of the day. If I don't answer you right away, I'll answer you the second I get a minute to do so.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. That's awesome. Zach, as always, man, we love having you here. Thank you again, as I mentioned earlier, for all your support of the show. And for folks that are listening, look forward to off the air. We're planning some things where we're going to do even more things with Zach and his trucks and screens and nerdy gadgets. Man after my own heart here. Buddy, anything else we should tell folks before we dip for the day?
No, I think that's just about it. I appreciate you guys very much. I appreciate all the kind words, and I appreciate the support right back to you. I think, you know, we live in an incredible world and in an incredible area here where we can all, you know, use each other to, in a very beneficial way
100%.
to grow our businesses. And I just think if everybody does that, then we just have an incredible world here.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more, man. Zach from Ads on the Go. Always a great guest. Welcome anytime. Mike, I go through a quick shout out to Mike for running the board while I'm here and not making too many jokes about me. What else we got? Hey, we got sweatshirts. I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Everybody loves this Phase Drug shirt. I made this for myself years ago just because I wanted a vintage Phase Drug shirt. And I'll tell you what, I finally understand what attractive people live like.
Yeah.
Because I can wear this shirt and walk through the mall, and every third person will go, "Hey, nice shirt. Hey, what?" Damn. Cool, man. They're finally available now. So on our TikTok shop, as well as our merch store, you can now get these awesome Phase Drug hoodies, t-shirts, and hats. So if you want to rep Central New York's favorite local brand that we all miss very much, that's what we got.
You gotta love the nostalgia.
I'm a big nostalgia fan, man. And with that, it's been Good News York. We will join you tomorrow for another fun-filled episode. I know we got some cool guests and good news. So with that, peace out.